What if I told you the NBA almost went bankrupt and today it's worth over $100 billion, but the players you see on the court aren't even the ones making the most money. In fact, some of the biggest winners never touch a basketball. And once you see how this system really works, you'll never watch sports the same way again. This is the business of the NBA, and once you understand how the money really flows, you'll start seeing opportunity everywhere. And real quick, if you like breaking down how money really works behind the scenes, hit like, subscribe, and follow, because that's exactly what we do here. Let's rewind. Back in the late 1970s, the NBA was in serious trouble. Games weren't even shown live. Some finals games were aired on tape delay late at night after the news. Today, that sounds crazy, but back then, the league was fighting just to stay relevant. Attendance was low, TV ratings were worse, and financially, the league was on the edge of collapse. Then, everything changed. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, rivalry, personality story. And later, Michael Jordan didn't just save the NBA, he turned it into a global money machine. But here's where it gets crazy. The NBA doesn't even make most of its money from basketball games. Most people think the money comes from tickets. It doesn't, not even close. The real money starts with media. Today, the NBA has multi-billion-dollar deals with broadcasters like ESPN and TNT. We're talking tens of billions of dollars just for the rights to show games, and the next deal could be worth over $70 billion. That's not from playing basketball, that's from attention. And that's your first lesson. The biggest money is not in the product, it's in the distribution. Now let's talk about the players. In the 1980s, the average NBA salary was around $250,000. Today, the average salary is over $9 million a year. Superstars are making $50 to $60 million annually. But even with all that money, they are still not the biggest winners, because the real wealth is with the owners. Teams that were bought for a few $100 million are now worth billions. Some franchises are worth $5, $6, even $7 billion. That's not income, that's ownership. And that's the second lesson. Income can make you rich, but ownership builds wealth. And in a minute, I'm going to show you who's making even more than the players, and it's not who you think. Now think bigger. The NBA is not just a league, it's an ecosystem. You've got brands like Nike and Adidas making billions off player deals. You've got media companies making billions off broadcasting rights. You've got betting companies making billions off fan engagement. And the NBA sits right in the middle of it all. Then there's the global play. The NBA has aggressively expanded into China, Africa, and Europe. Basketball academies, global games, international marketing, because the real goal is simple: turn basketball into a global language. The more people that watch, the more valuable the league becomes. And this is where the WNBA comes in. For years, people said the WNBA wasn't profitable, but that's short-term thinking. The WNBA is one of the fastest growing sports properties in the world right now, with rising viewership, new sponsorships, and global expansion. This is an untapped market, and smart money always moves early into untapped markets. Now, let's connect this to college sports. Because the NBA doesn't start in the NBA, it starts with the NCAA. For decades, college athletes generated billions for schools while making nothing themselves. TV deals merchandise-packed arenas. Now with NIL deals, everything has changed. Players are getting paid earlier, brands are investing earlier, agents are entering the game earlier. Which means the money pipeline now starts before the pros. And agents are quietly some of the biggest winners in the entire system. They negotiate contracts, secure endorsements, and take a percentage of everything. One superstar client can generate millions for an agent. Now, let's talk about cities. Because when an NBA team enters a city, it's not just about basketball, it's about business. Hotels fill up, restaurants get packed, jobs are created, tourism increases. Entire downtown areas can be revitalized around a single arena. That's why local governments sometimes invest in teams, public funding, tax incentives, infrastructure support, because they believe the long-term economic impact will outweigh the cost. But here's the reality: sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Some cities see massive growth, others are left paying off billion-dollar arenas for decades. Now here's something most people don't think about. The NBA is also a content company. Highlights on social media, viral moments, player brands. They don't just sell games, they sell attention 24 hours a day. And in today's world, attention is one of the most valuable assets you can own. That's why players are becoming brands themselves. LeBron is not just a player, he's a business. Steph Curry is not just a shooter, he's a global brand. And this is the third lesson: if you can build attention, you can build income. And what's coming next could double the NBA's value, and almost nobody is talking about it. The NBA is moving into streaming platforms, global betting partnerships, digital collectibles, and AI-driven fan experiences. Imagine personalized games, virtual courtside seats, and global fans interacting in real time. The league is not just growing, it's evolving. Future projections suggest the NBA could be worth over $200 billion in the coming decades. The WNBA is positioned for explosive growth. College sports are turning into a billion-dollar talent pipeline, and new international leagues could emerge under the NBA umbrella. But here's the part that matters most for you. Most people watch the game. Some people study the players, but very few people study the system. And the system is where the real money lives. Because once you understand how money moves behind the scenes, you stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an investor. You start asking better questions. Where is the attention going? Who controls the distribution? Who owns the assets? That's how you level up. That's how you think differently. That's how you win. So the next time you watch a game, don't just watch the highlights. Watch the business. Watch the opportunities. Because the real game is not being played on the court. It's being played behind the scenes. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you made it this far, hit like, subscribe, follow, and drop a comment, ownership, because it tells the algorithm to push this to more people and helps the channel grow. Because on this channel, we don't just watch the game, we break down how the money is made behind it, and we help you think bigger than the game itself.